What we need to actually do in Nigeria as we prepare for 2023 election is to ask ourselves critical questions regarding good governance, our standards of living, the cost of living, and the rest of them. What is the state of insecurity? What really is good governance, and how should a government be in Nigeria? I have a book in front of me that actually captures what a government should be. But I think in Nigeria, basically what we're lacking in government is that we are lacking the institutions that are very strong enough to serve as checks and balances to stop any emergence of dictatorial tendencies on the part of the governors and on the part of the president, the holders of the executive powers in Nigeria. And we have a solution to the problem, but Nigerians have actually refused to adopt those solutions. The solution to the problem is all about having a proper legislative reforms, constitutional reforms, in order to ensure that those safeguards that are enshrined in the Constitution, those institutions that are built, that are embedded, that the provisions, the constitutional provisions are embedded and enshrined in the Constitution, are actually implemented and enforced to their maximum conclusion. And the fact is that I don't think that Nigerians actually believe that we should run a democracy, but we are running a democracy. And what kind of democracy are we running? We are running a democracy that some persons who get into public offices see themselves as demigods, as deities, that they are deities, they are small demigods. They are demigods that ought to be worshipped by the people. The way other people practice democracy in other civilizations or other foreign jurisdictions, where we actually incorporated some fundamentals of our democracy, places like Britain and the US, is that those who are in public offices are not gods, they are not demigods, they are servants of the people. They are there at the discretion of the people. They are there to promote public good. Do we actually know what public good means in Nigeria? We don't know what public good means in Nigeria. In Nigeria, those who are in political offices think that they are actually doing us a favor by getting into politics. They are not doing us a favor. They are not also in public offices to do themselves a favor. Anybody who wants to get into public office in 2023, because the last chance we have as a nation to remain as a country, as one country, as one entity, the last chance we have is 2023 election. If we miss it, if we miss that chance, we are gone forever, and the country will never be one again. The country is going to disintegrate for good. So we need to get people to have it at the back of their minds that if they are coming to contest for elections, it is not a question of anybody who has said that next year's presidential election is his turn. Nigerians must never elect that person, because the person is going to be a dictator. He's going to sleep on duty because he believes that it is his own birthright. It's nobody's birthright to be a president of this country. It is only those who are competent and who all of us have records about them. You must pin somebody down to somewhere. Somebody must have been educated somewhere. If a person says, I don't know where my primary school is, that person is fraudulent. If a person says, I don't know where my secondary school result is, and you are refusing to tell us which school you attended, you are fraudulent. If a person has a bad record in any country of the world, if a person has ever been questioned for drugs and for fraud, Nigerians will be making the biggest mistake of their life by electing such a person. And the most prominent actors who are now campaigning to be president in PDP and APC, that had these issues with the American government. So if the most prominent persons in those major parties that we, the so-called two big parties, have had issues regarding alleged fraud and alleged involvement in drugs, why are we still giving them chance to even talk to us? I think Nigeria is going to be finished if any of these two emerge as president of this country. That's all I have to say. So it is in our hands to decide who becomes the president.